This content is brought to you by Beer Money Cycle Works in Victor, Montana. Beer Money Cycle Works, the best bike shop in the Bitterroot. Motorcycles, ATVs, and side-by-sides. Also brought to you in part by Attack Russell Security Systems. Attack Russell, we guard you while you poop. Oh yeah, and some crazy retired Master Chief. Enjoy the show.
It's Saturday, probably about 3 o'clock in the PM, August 1st, 2026, and I am doing step one of building my adventure rig. And I use the term building loosely because I am not piecing together a truck and RV and building it by hand. I am modifying an already existing vehicle and a camper that I already had. But step one, we are heading to the cat truck scale, and this is going to be the first video that I try to piece things together, and I've never done that before, so I'm going to try to piece this video together and put it on there. But what we're doing is we're driving a 2016 Ram 4500 four-wheel drive. It's a tradesman or a basic package. It has a CM flatbed on it, and I want to know what it weighs with the flatbed on it. So if you found this video because you're looking for information on a Ram 4500 to build a camping vehicle or use for towing, something that I recently found out is that they do not put the 4500 or 5500 cabin chassis base weights on the door sticker, and that is because they do not come with a bed, and they know that you're going to put something on there. Actually, I take that back. They have the base weight. I said that wrong. They have the base weight. They don't have a payload. They have max capacity. So this truck is 16,500 pounds. So I can get the base weight, which I think is 8,200 pounds on this truck, and I can get the maximum, which is 16,500 pounds. So what I need to know is what this skirted CM flatbed weighs, or more to the point, what the truck weighs with it. So the 4500 is a great platform to build a truck camper vehicle on. I am not doing overlanding, I am doing boondocking. So the reason why we went to a 4500 instead of the two 3500s that I already have is because I want to be able to tow side-by-sides while having the truck camper on and not have to worry about gross vehicle wheel weight or gross vehicle weight while towing. And I want to keep it within the weight. So we are going to take the truck up to the cat scale, and we are going to see what she weighs with the flatbed installed. And then we will know what kind of payload we have remaining. And I already basically know what the camper weighs, but we're going to end up weighing this thing several times in stages to see where we're at. So most people that are looking for a truck camper truck build really nowadays are looking for a 5500 because it has a much larger capacity than the 4500. But my truck camper is a Northern Lite. It's a 2019 Northern Lite 811 Sportsman, and its listed weight is 2,240 pounds. That's not accurate. I weighed it when I did a move, and I have the weight ticket, two weight tickets, one full, one empty, with the truck camper, without the truck camper, on my Ram 3500. And I want to say that it was closer to like 2,600 pounds. But the important thing is the fact that it does not weigh what like a Host Mammoth weighs, or even a Arctic Fox 990, 960, whatever, with a slide weighs. It's fiberglass construction. It doesn't have a slide. It doesn't have awnings. There's a lot of things that are not. It doesn't have a TV, doesn't have a stereo. And I bought that thing specifically because the payload on my 3500 from 2008 was only 3,001 pound So I'm glad I had that 1 pound, but I'm pretty sure I used every bit of it. Now, that truck carried that truck camper awesomely. It did great. I towed a motorcycle and an enclosed trailer, and it did fine. It actually got really decent mileage. My calculated mileage one time was like 16 miles per gallon. It's a manual 6-speed, deleted 6.7 Cummins, short box 1 ton. But, you know, we're not doing this necessarily for fuel economy. We're doing this for towing. I need to be able to take side-by-sides where I'm going. So that's why we're using the 4500. And why'd I pick the 4500 over the 5500 if the 5500 has so much more capacity? Well, the answer is very simple. This is the truck that was available. It was the first low mileage for a Cummins. It was 104,000 miles. It's manual 6-speed. It's 2016. The issues were already taken care of it. The known Cummins issues. I'm not going to go through that. It's not a Cummins channel. It has the manual transfer case in it, and it was available, and it was for sale for a really good price. So I paid $39,000 for this truck. So it has a flatbed on it already. It has an external fuel tank on it with a pump, and it was taken care of by a business that refurbishes equipment. So could I have paid less for a 4500 or a 5500 4-wheel drive with a 6-speed manual? Yeah. Would it have had more miles? Yeah, probably. This truck was not a hotshot truck. It sat for a long time, being driven only by a couple people at the county in like South Carolina, because nobody could drive stick. So I don't know. I kind of lucked out, and I'm hoping that it pays off. But honestly, I'm committed to the truck. Like, in the coming years, you may see me make a video saying I got a problem. Oh shit, I wish I'd have known that the Cummins was going to do that or whatever. But I don't think you're ever going to see me make a video like I'm totally pissed off, I'm getting rid of this truck. Like, there's a lot of Cummins out there. There's a lot of manual transmission rebuild shops. You know, there's a lot of truck shops that can fix the axles in this. You know, tires are a little bit of a bother sometimes. You know, they're expensive on these 19.5 wheels, but you know, it is what it is. Like, we might be doing some 37s. You know, I'd love to say that I'd like to have a singled out with 41 MPT Continentals or you know, the Michelins or something like that. But honestly, I don't really want to have a 300-pound wheel and tire. You know, you can argue with me in the comments that they're only like 220. I don't want to have a 220-pound tire. That, you know, that's heavy. So also very expensive, also hard to mount. I think I want to stick with dualies in the rear. If I get a flat, you know, I got a spare. The spare doesn't have to be as huge as some of those, although steel wheels and a 37, not light, so still going to be a bother. But that's where we are. So yeah, we're going to take it up and get it weighed, and we're going to find out what kind of weight limit. If I find out that by putting the camper on this truck and putting all the equipment on here that I'm going to want to have and towing in the coming year is more weight than responsible, being reasonable and responsible for driving the truck, then we will look into getting an aluminum flatbed or maybe one of those custom upfit beds. So they're so ridiculously priced. I'm not really excited about spending the money on something like that, but is what it is. Might have to do it if it comes to it, because I don't want to put extra wear on the truck. I don't want to wear out tires, but I really don't think that me by myself towing side by sides, I don't think I'm going to put, with my Northern Lite truck camper, that much strain on this truck. I think this flatbed's going to work out just fine. Anyways, have the segue here, and I'll figure out how to edit you into the scales. Alright, so we're at the Loves up in Missoula at the Y, and I just topped off the fuel tank. And so you might say down in the comments like, well, you know, fuel's part of your payload, so why did you put fuel in there? Like, I'm just trying to get a baseline, and I'll know that like when I have a full fuel tank, this is how much more room I have. What I did not do was fuel up the external fuel tank, and that's because I do not have to fuel it up. So I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to record this while I try to use the scale with the app. So if I lose you, I lose you, but I'm going to try to make this happen real quick.
This chart is where I'm getting some of the data for the weights on this truck. So it's a 2016 Ram 4500 cab and chassis. This is a crew cab with an 84-inch bed. It's a 4x4 and it's a dual rear wheel. It has the Cummins, it has the 4.44 gears, and it has the G56 manual transmission. I've highlighted the line that's on here. It says the gross vehicle wheel rate is 16,500. The payload is 7,870. That's not on the door sticker. I'll show you that in a minute. And the total base weight, so what the truck weighs without the bed on it, is supposed to be 8,631 pounds. So what we really need to know is how much that bed weighs so we can figure out how much it's taken away from our payload. On the door sticker here, you can see that it has the gross vehicle wheel rate that matches the chart. It's 16,500 pounds. And then it also has gross axle wheel rate for the front axle at 7,000 pounds and the rear axle at 12,000 pounds. If you do the math on those, you'll see that they add up to 19,000 pounds, which is over. I did some asking around, and that just means that where you distribute your weight on there makes a difference, and these trucks are configured in lots of different ways. But for us, we're concerned with how much is on the front, how much is on the rear, and how much we have total once we have the truck, camper, and all the gear, and I intend to tow side-by-sides on there. So obviously this doesn't show payload, which is what I was talking about.
All right, well, I'm pulling away from the scale right now. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to use the app and record video at the same time, but I got some screenshots of the PDF ticket, and I saved a picture of what the app looks like for any of you wondering, but this is definitely not going to be a tutorial about how to use the app. But I will say that it works a lot better. You don't even have to get out of the truck. You have to have your app already set up with all your information in your truck and your address and your payment information. And you cannot do all that while you're sitting on the scale, especially if there's a line of truckers sitting behind you trying to use the scale. But I had already done all that this morning. Anyways, we're heading out. Looks like the truck weighs, I think it was 10,480 pounds. That's a lot of space. You know, I've got about 6,000 pounds worth of cargo available. What I don't know is how much the trailer's going to weigh, tongue weight, and so we're going to have to do multiple weighs, and that's going to be over the coming months. And the truck's going to end up weighing more as I add more to it, because I'm going to want to do boxes on the flatbeds and all that stuff. But at least now I know at just over 10,000 pounds, if I get a weight for this bed, which full tank of fuel in here, man, that bed's heavy. It's really heavy. So I don't have anything else in the truck. I think I have a tow hitch on the back. So you know, we're looking at like a 1,800 pound flatbed. So if I really wanted to go with an aluminum bed or have something built custom later, I could really give myself some weight. But I'll be honest with you, right now I'm happy with this really heavy bed because it makes this 4,500 ride actually pretty tame when it's empty. But the plan is to put the truck camper in here and not really ever take it off. So that's not going to be so much of an issue. When I do go to load up the truck camper, I'm going to look at the suspension droop on it. So I'll measure the ride height empty, and then I'll put the camper on it, and I'll measure the ride height at the fender well and the bumper with it mounted and see how much I've lost. But I just put a 14,000 pound Momentum 25G on it to go camping for a week, and it did not even put this thing onto the helper springs, and it rode like a champ. So and it towed like nothing was there. So I definitely got the right truck for my purposes, and I'm looking forward into where this Odyssey turns into, and you're all invited along for the ride. All right, see you in the next one.
So here's the PDF version of the weight ticket. You'll see that it actually added 100 pounds for a trailer that I don't have connected right now. So that's not really valid. We're going to discount that 100 from our overall price. And then I'll go ahead and show you guys what it looks like on the app. But basically, the weight from the chart for the truck without a bed at all was 8,631. The current weight of the truck with the CM flatbed and also a tank of fuel, I'm not doing the math on the fuel, is 10,320. The bed plus the fuel weigh about 1,609 pounds. So basically that flatbed is pretty heavy. It's somewhere between 1,300 and 1,600, give or take, with the weight. And I'm also included in there. I don't think it's worth trading the bed out. But if I ever get overloaded on weight, I can always go back and get maybe a different bed, have one custom built. But I don't think we're going to be needing to do that. It's the next day. I'm back at the house. Got a little wind out here, so the sound quality might not be the best, but just wanted to show you the truck that we're weighing in the video. This is a 2016 Ram 4500. It's the tradesman or the basic package, really. Nothing special about it other than I wanted a 6-speed manual G56, and it comes with the manual transfer case, and it is 4-wheel drive. So bought this from a family-owned company in Idaho that buys equipment, refurbishes it. They had to do a minor engine rebuild on it. Only has 103,000 miles on it. Paid $39,000 for it, and I think I got a pretty good deal. I am happy with it. You can run my license plate if you want. You can come to my house. You're going to be in trouble. I also run my business out of here, so bring a motorcycle. I'll fix it for you. Anyways, this is the CM flatbed that's on it. It's pretty snazzy, actually. It's heavier than what I would have liked to have gone with, but it's going to stand up to everything that I put on it. So the truck rides like a heavy truck. Once I get the weight of the Northern Lite truck camper on there, it'll probably tame it out a little bit. This is definitely not going to be like an overlanding build. This truck is going to see dirt, but it is going to get parked. And then motorcycles are going to come out of a trailer. A boat's going to get launched into the water. Side-by-sides are going to hit the trail. So just a quick look on the inside. It's very simple. It's got rubber floor. It's got a regular stereo. Actually, the stereo hits really well for being really simple. I actually do not feel bad about not having all the infotainment and all that stuff. And I thought that I was going to have to replace the seats. They're actually pretty comfortable. We'll see how I feel about them after driving, down to Arizona in the wintertime and some of these longer trips, because I do plan on making big trips for it. But got some fishing gear in the back. I actually went fishing this morning and had some coolant in there just in case I need it, which I have not. So anyways, this is the truck. More upgrades coming to the truck, and I'll get them all on the channel. And yeah, I might have a slight addiction or maybe a Cummins problem. I don't know. It's not really. We're not here for counseling. That's the business truck that moves bikes around, four-wheelers around on the flatbed, and this is my daily driver, the city rig with the city wheels. All right.